So, I'm getting my first tattoo. And for that one person who was wondering why I'm getting a tattoo, here's some context. I have 3 other siblings, where I'm the second oldest one. I have 1 older brother and 2 little sisters. My oldest brother was the one first to get a tattoo, then my oldest little sister got one, and then as soon as my youngest little sister came 18, the very first thing she spoke about was getting a tattoo. And I high-key refused to be the last one out of us to get one. So I finally decided to get one after I've been contemplating of getting one for like 2 years. As of the time of recording this, it's April 15th, 2026, and it's exactly 1 day before I get my tattoo, and I'm shitting bricks. Mostly because this is my very first tattoo, and I've already decided to go all in. Like, big, massive, detailed motherfucker. No regrets, no pain. Well, actually, it probably will be painful, but still, no regrets. And even though I was recommended by the tattoo artists themselves that I should start out small, I know deep inside that this is going to be the one or nothing. That's how decisive I am. Also, at the time of recording this, I have already visited the shop and spoken with the workers and the tattoo artist herself, and there I showed some reference material for what I wanted for my tattoo. But I won't get into so much detail right now, but I will do that as soon as I get the tattoo itself, and then I'll explain more in detail. But yeah, here goes nothing. Wish me luck. And we're back. And... ah, shit. So, turns out I'm an idiot. Who would have thought a tattoo has to heal? Not this guy, that's for sure. And since I had to come back for another session to get the coloring and the scales done, I had to wait even longer. I'm so dumb. Anyways, I'm back and it went well. I took it like a champ, and I definitely did not cry during the first 8-hour session at all. But actually, it wasn't that bad. Overall, it was a great experience. I showed up during the day and they showed me the final design of the tattoo, and I loved it. Though the first thing they did was to put a stencil on me. That's what I at least think it's called. A stencil is a thermal transfer paper that you put on your body that leaves a temporary purple outline on your body, which acts like a guide for the artist while they are tattooing on you. But that's enough of the technical stuff. If you haven't skipped ahead to this part, I'm sure you're all here just to see the tattoo itself, so here it is. So in terms of the actual references and things I wanted to get out of the tattoo was first of all to keep Shenron as the black ink and not the usual green, beige and red, because personally I think it looks more fitting as a tattoo. Then we have the Dragon Balls that I included with the original colors to make it more known that it isn't just a normal dragon, but it's from Dragon Ball. Then we have the scales to make it more detailed and more lively. And we can also see it makes a huge difference when I show you the dragon after the first session compared to after the second one. And then we have the positioning, which was at the forearm, like one in the reference material I'll show right here. I personally think that was a pretty fitting place to get a huge dragon, and it's also just a personal reference that I wanted it to be on my forearm to begin with. One thing that you could probably notice is that some parts of the Dragon Ball aren't completely filled in, and that's also on purpose to give that more of a shiny look, which I actually do like a lot. Though I might still get a touch up on the ones that you can fully see, just so they're filled in a little more while still keeping the shine. I'm such an idiot. I was so focused about showing off the tattoo and explaining the reasoning why I was getting it that I forgot to tell you guys about what happened in between the 2 sessions. So a few days after the first session, I went home and visited my parents, and yeah, just imagine a very disappointed Asian dad who scoffed at you when he saw it. Not my finest moment. Anyway, seconds after I showed it to my dad, I had to show it to my mom, and oh boy.
I was so fucking scared.
So you know how Buddhists pray to Buddha, right? Well, at that moment, I felt like Buddha was praying for me, like legit. Oh, I was so fucking scared. And the funny thing is, as soon as my mom saw it, she legit told me if I could get it removed. Yeah, I'm definitely not the favorite kid, that's for sure. But throughout the weekend we left it off and we're good, I think. Anyways, in between the 2 sessions where the tattoo had to heal, because of course it had to heal, all the typical stuff happens when you get a tattoo, which I wasn't aware of because for some reason I didn't do that part of the research. But to inform you guys what is supposed to happen when getting a tattoo, first of all, ink parts will fall off when you clean it, and that's supposed to happen, don't worry, it's just excess ink. And just make sure to clean it with natural soap and whatever protective cream they recommend you using after getting the tattoo or the aftercare. Other than that, skin will itch. I will promise you that. I've had countless nights with unoptimal amount of sleep, and that's the price of getting a tattoo, and I still don't regret it. Still worth it. Still fucking worth it. And one of the things I was recommended to do was like scratch around the tattoo to try and, well, you had to basically gaslight yourself into thinking that you're scratching the tattoo itself, which you're definitely not supposed to do. Do not fuck with the tattoo until it's fully healed. Speaking of not fucking with the tattoo, during the healing process, gaps will appear, and don't fuck with them either. Just let them naturally fall off. It's supposed to happen. Also, one thing that helped with the itching part was to put on the protective cream, but it only helped for a bit, and it also took forever to dry. So when I had to go to sleep and lay on the bed, I had to put my arm in a position so it looked like I was choking a ghost. A fucking ghost. Anyways, that's about it. Let's get back to the actual video. Other than that, you might be thinking, why Shenron out of all things? And yeah, even myself, I didn't think too much of it to begin with. I just like dragons and Dragon Ball a lot. The more I got closer to the deadline of actually getting the tattoo, I came to realize that this tattoo itself became more of a meaning for me. And let me explain why. So in the series, when everything turns to shit and it seems like everything is over, there are characters like Goku, Krillin, or Gohan who could always rely on Shenron to save them. But things like that didn't come for free. They had to go through hardships, go through difficult work to acquire the Dragon Balls, and learn from the experience by training even harder and not to let those hardships ever occur again. Basically, you had to put effort into completing a task. And in a way, you can mirror that to the real life world, where, yeah, the world is a shitty place. We can all agree on that, especially on the internet where most of the things are already toxic. But it doesn't necessarily have to be like that. And yeah, there's a lot of things that could go wrong in your life, and even things that are out of your abilities. But still, we have to go through them and push through and hopefully never experience them again. And yeah, I know. We don't have Shenron in real life, but we can always do our best and hope for a better future for ourselves and for those close to us. So in a way, this tattoo, it does remind me a lot of hope and just giving you all, because you only have one life. And yeah, I know this might sound cheesy, but hey, again, with all the toxicity in the world, would it really hurt to be positive once in a while? I didn't think so. So even after all this contemplation and being too much of a puss to actually go through with it, do I have any tips or final words? Nah, you're on your own. Okay, but for real though, if you are in the same situation that I was in a couple of days ago, or just thinking about getting a tattoo, I definitely feel like you should start out by trying to hear other people out and maybe ask them if they have any experience getting a tattoo. If anything, hear those people out if they have any experience or tips and tricks to be aware of or get ready for. And secondly, if you are already determined to get one, it wouldn't hurt to have some reference material or an idea for placement of the tattoo, anything to make the job easier for the artist themselves. Also, I am by no any means the most extroverted person out there, so speaking with the artist themselves could sound a bit nerve-wracking. And you might also be a bit nervous about the not understanding your wish or goal of the tattoo you want, but from my experience, that wasn't the case at all. As I told earlier in the video, I had the meeting with them 2 weeks prior to the showcase, and me asking them about my wish, and by then we discussed it to the minute detail, and thankfully I was also quickly introduced to someone who had knowledge about Shenron or just Dragon Ball in general, so that was super nice and reassuring that she had the mindset of my plan. Also, they were super nice, attentive, and very professional in terms of the entire operation from start to finish, and it was definitely worth the 2 months of operation. In conclusion, get your motherfucking ass out there if you want something done, because you only live once. Yeah, that's about it. I have no idea when I'll upload again, but it's probably going to be a gacha video. Let's be honest here, 90% of my content. Yeah, that's about it. Have a good one, and peace the fuck out.